Hello, this is Kim Turner, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create scenarios and then how to create a scenario summary sheet. I have the income worksheet showing here, and the first thing I'm going to do before I create my scenarios is to apply define names to the cells that have values in the B column. So to do this, I can select A5 through B6 and then go to the Formulas tab and select Create from Selection in the Define Name group. I'm going to create define names from the values in the left column. So then I'll click OK and then take a look at it. So the name in the left column is unit sold. That means that B5 should be named unit sold, and it is. I can look in the name box and I can see unit sold, including an underscore for the space because define names can't have any spaces. So I'm going to go through and create define name for my changing cells, and I'll explain what changing cells are in just a minute. I'll click on A18 through B21 and then go Create from Selection. Left row is checked and then click OK. And then A25 to B27, Create Define Names, Create from Selection, and click OK. So just to check, B25 now has a defined name of total revenue. So now I'm ready to set up my scenarios. The first scenario is going to be called status quo. So status quo means that none of these values are going to change. I'm going to keep everything exactly as it is, and I'll create a scenario out of that. I'll do that by going to the Data tab, then What If Analysis, and then go to Scenario Manager. This is where I add in my scenarios. I'll click Add, and my scenario name is going to be status quo for the first one. The changing cells is the second thing down, and you'll notice that you have an arrow up that is pointing up on the right hand side. Go ahead and click on that, and you can select non-adjacent ranges. So I'll select B5 to B6, select B5 to B6 as my first range, then hold down the Control key and select my first cell in the next range, which is going to be B18. So take the scroll bar down to B18, click on B18, hold down the Shift key, and then click on B21. So you can see here I have two non-adjacent ranges. And then go ahead and click Enter to bring up the dialog box. And you can put a comment here that of no change in values. And then click OK. So since there's not going to be any changes made, I can just click OK. And here I have my status quo scenario. I'm going to go ahead and add a new scenario, and this one is going to be called Expanded Operations. I check that the changing cells are the same. Now this is important for the scenario summary to come out correct. Your changing cells for each scenario needs to be exactly the same. So B5 to B6 and B18 to B21. And I'll put a comment on what this is, and then click OK, and here is where I change the values. So these changing cells here are on the left hand side. These are the defined names of each of the changing cells. I'm going to change the unit sold to 3,500. The sales price per unit is going to stay the same. Salaries and benefits are going to be more because I'm selling more units, so I need to have more employees. 755,000, and shipping and distribution is going to be 235,000. Stocking and storage is going to be 200,000, and then the last one is miscellaneous. Now you might notice that you can't see miscellaneous in this list, and there is a scroll bar on the right hand side that you can click and drag down to see that last category. That's 225,000, and then I'll click OK. So now I have two scenarios here. If I click on Expanded Operations, I can go down here to Show, and my values will change in the worksheet. Then to get back to the status quo, I can click on it and click Show, and the values go back. So that's the reason why status quo is created. Okay, so I'm going to add two additional scenarios. I'll click on Add, The changing cells, again, I check to make sure that they're the same. Don't change those. The next one is reduced operations. And the last one is called reduced pricing. So when I have all 4 of my scenarios entered, I'll go ahead and edit the reduced pricing one by lowering the units sold to 3,800 and then click OK. And now I'm ready to create the scenario summary report. So now I'm going to click on Summary. And the report type is going to be a scenario summary. The result cells are going to be B25 to B27. So select those 3 cells and then click OK. Then Excel will create the scenario summary for you, which is nice. And what you want to do is you want to check and make sure that it has the dollar signs where you want them, and also the commas where you want them, and then make sure you check your defined names. Now you'll notice here that all my changing cells have defined names, but my result cells do not. I missed this B27. I need to go back and create a defined name for B27, and the only way I can do that is to delete this worksheet. So I'll go down to the tab, I'll right click on it, and then I'll delete the worksheet, which is okay because it's so easy to create the scenario summary. And now go back to B27 and create a defined name. I'll go ahead and select A27 to B27 because I want to capture the name of net income. I'll go to the Formulas tab and then click on Create from Selection. I want the name to be the one in the left column, so I'll click OK. And now that defined name should have been created. I'll go ahead and click on B27 to check it, and it is net income. So now let's go back and create our scenario summary again. Go to that Data tab, click on What If Analysis, then the Scenario Manager, then click on Summary. Make sure your result cells are B25 to B27, and then click OK. So now the scenario summary sheet has been created, and I double check and all my defined names have names there. Another thing I notice is that the dollar signs have a different format in some of the cells. So this cell is currency format and the cell below it is accounting format. So I'd like that format to be the same throughout the sheet. And in fact, you can make all of the cells currency format or accounting format if you like. I recommend to change the sales price per unit to the dollar format of accounting. Okay, so that looks better. So that's an example of how to create a scenario summary from scenarios that you've entered into the Scenario Manager.